Good morning and welcome to the webinar titled Geospatial Analytics Powering Financial Services. First and foremost, I hope and wish that all of you and your family members are well and safe. And thanks for joining us today. Starting with the agenda for the day today, I am opening the session. My name is Rahul Gupta. I head the enterprise sales for esri India. We'll be in the opening session, I'll be talking about the agenda. I'll be talking about a bit about esri. I'll be talking a bit about our presence here in India, about what GIS is and the use cases. Very briefly, the use cases that we gonna be talking about today. Then we have Mr. Kaushik Banerjee. He's a former president, Chola Finance and ex-CEO, Magma FinCorp. He'll be taking through the digital transformation through location. Then we have esri India team and Geospoke team, which will be talking about geospatial analytics in the financial institutions. We have we have the Reliance General Insurance team led by Deepak. They'll be talking about GIS in crop insurance. Then we have Siddharth Shah, who is a consultant with Deloitte India. He'll be talking about geospatial as competitive advantage in FSI. And then finally, we'll have the question and answer session. But talking a bit about esri, we are a global organization. We are a multi-billion-dollar company based out of Redlands, California. As you can see, like we have around 400,000 customers worldwide, presence across the globe. And in India, we have been present since 1996. Close to 5,000 customers across the span, headquartered out of Noida. We have our offices across the major cities in India. We have a presence in all the other cities, smaller cities, big cities through our partners. And as our platform happens to be a very horizontal platform, you can see like our solutions go across government, central government, state government. We have solutions for utilities companies. We have solutions for telecom operators. Our solutions are deployed by, smart cities. Not saying like we have solutions for enterprise business, like be it manufacturing, be it the AC segment, consumer durables, FMCGs, media companies, retail companies, AEC, which is architecture, engineering and construction companies, and definitely, of course, BFSI, banking, financial institutions. So talking a little bit about GIS. So what we say is we see data which is all around us. So what is geographical information system? A geographical information system integrates hardware, software, and data, analyzing and displaying all forms of geographically referenced information. GIS also helps us answer questions and solve problems by looking data in a way that is highly comprehensible and easily shared across different sources. So when we talk about different data sets, like we are talking about stitching together data, we are talking about information which is coming in from different sources, be it business data coming from your ERPs, coming in from your central banking solutions. It can be demography data, it can say of your customers, of your prospects. It can be other data, point of interest data and all, and then combining it, stitching it along with the location. We talk about bringing in intelligence to the location. Very specifically to financial services organizations, like we tend to answer the solution that we are talking of. It's a geospatial analytics that we are talking of here. So these are the questions that we have, and these are the questions we answer. I'm like, this is only a small set of it, right? So I'm like, we're talking about where are my target customers? Where are the frauds happening and the patterns of the frauds? Which customers may get affected due to natural calamities? We are talking about corporate security here. Where is my business most exposed? How do I compare to my competition? And what is the performance of my territories? And what products can I market based on regional influences and factors? Yeah, so these are a few questions that our solution help you answer. A few of the use cases across the board. I'm like, we'll be talking. This is again a small set of it. We'll be talking more about these use cases during our presentation today. We are talking about risk mitigation and corporate security, reducing fraud, understanding delinquency, and also enhancing corporate security. ATM and branch optimization, looking at which location to put my new ATM or say deciding on a new branch. Workforce optimization, we are talking about low staff branches and overstaffed branches, which can be ascertained. And then accordingly, like we can take a decision where the staff needs to be moved, or we can look into those branches basis the employee travel distances and all, and accordingly, like so we can put our say employees into a on a specific branch. We do customer analytics, so understanding customer demography, understanding where they stay, where they shop, where they bank. And this is again a just small subset of the queries which you can answer. And then finally, marketing and customer acquisition. So financial companies, just as example, financial companies use this information about their customers in placing their signboards. Like they have their information about the customers, and then they decide upon which place to put their signboards. This can be used to decide upon various media, understand their customers, and accordingly, like where they want to put their advertisements or where they want to pitch in their, what pitch they want to decide on, which media to go with. So these are various use cases that we'll be discussing further on in the presentation today. A brief list of India customers, like this is only an enterprise segment that we are looking at. Like on the left, we are talking about financial institutions, then we have manufacturing, then we have retail, and then finally we have say consultants. This is only a brief list. So as I mentioned, like we have close to say 5,000 customers in India. Now I'll be passing it on to Mr. Kaushik Banerjee. Mr. Kaushik Banerjee is, just to introduce him, he is an ex-MD, Magma and Chola Finance. He has over 30 years of experience in financial services, of which 15 years has been in CXO roles as business head, vehicle finance, president, asset finance, and then finally president, strategy in Chola Finance. And he has also worked as a president and CEO, asset finance in Magma FinCorp. He has been responsible for building and leading large teams with a significant national presence across products and geography. As of now, he's working along with our partner Geospatial as the advisor. I'll welcome Mr. Kaushik Banerjee to take further to share what he has to share. Yeah, please, Mr. Banerjee.
Okay, so this is a trial run, right?
Mr. Banerjee, we are on live now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. So good morning, everybody, and I hope everybody is safe at home and safe from COVID. One of the reasons that I am associated with Geospatial is an account of the fact that having spent over 30 years in retail financial services, and as Rahul pointed out, I've been leading businesses in the retail lending space in both Chola and in Magma. And I've had my fair share of interactions with technology companies, to support us in terms of our performance. And what I've distilled from my experience is that the key focus areas for a CEO or a business head and CXO level officers have centered around branch expansions, product offerings, disbursements, portfolio management, and cost optimization. And the most critical of all, the holy grail of retail lending managers, and I would assume other segments as well, is essentially employee productivity. And the consistent challenge that I have faced in my capacity as president at Chola and CEO at Magma is how do we kind of correlate and use macro information to address micro market strategies and implementation. How do I connect a strategic decision at the budgeting level or at the strategy level to tactical real-time operational requirements? And this is where there's always been this gap between a strategy level decision and implementation challenge at the field level. How do I ensure that I get to define my input as a business leader and I get to also define my output parameters? For any lending organization, we measure our performance by return on assets, which is an outcome of how much do I disburse, what are the yields I operate at, what is my portfolio behavior, and how do I manage my cost. Now, it's important to note that this is the macro level output, but it's entirely dependent or significantly dependent upon the performance of each field level executive. And the higher the output of a field level executive, be it in terms of number of units financed or the amount of money collected, the better the overall performance of the business. And this is not just limited to retail lending, but to the entire BFSI space as a whole. In insurance, it would be the premium generated, it would be reducing claim percentages. And we can do this by improving our target market selection as well as taking informed decisions on the micro markets we want to address at the macro level and at the micro level by improving the output of the individual performer. And this has a cascading impact at the aggregate level. My experience with technology interventions has largely been that they focus on either origination uploads and data scrubbing or on the credit assessment piece or on portfolio analytics. But what we've essentially always used is a point of time report and analytics. At the CXO level, and this is usually used to review performance and to use them largely for crisis management or firefighting at a high decision-making level. We therefore delegate a significant amount of key decisions to the field managers who are already overloaded to the day-to-day execution responsibilities. When what they really need are practical, easy-to-implement solutions which allows them to focus on being in the field with their teams, either generating business or enhancing their collections. Also, a lot of fintech interventions are quite expensive, and the business's control over input and output parameters is fairly limited. So I would assume that for most lenders today, particularly, the priority is portfolio management and cost optimization, given the fact that we're still emerging from the impact of COVID and from the moratorium that's been in place. And the priority today, I think for FY21, would essentially be to exit this year with as little an impact as possible on the overall portfolio performance. And of course, in ensuring that costs are significantly under control, because disbursements have been very badly hit. Again, from my past experience, one of the most common challenges that an organization faces, at least in retail lending, is that there is a significant gap in performance of frontline executives and managers. We would typically see a 25% top performer level who are way above the median. You'll have 50 to 60% performers who are at the median level and largely within the 85 to 90% of the target assigned. And we also have about 10 to 15%, which can go up to 20% or higher, of consistently suboptimal performers. Now, this last cohort poses a significant challenge to management. Now, the underperformance could be an account of there being allocated marginal markets. It could be an account of a skew in allocation. It could be an account of a geographically scattered customer base or simply poor performance. However, this particular cohort of employees poses serious constraint and challenge to the management in terms of the cost of the company. To optimize the performance of the frontline executives by using location technology and location intelligence to optimize routes. And in our use cases, we have, and whoever will take you through that in greater detail, we have seen that the customer coverage and load balancing in terms of allocations have improved dramatically for the companies which have done it. And this results in two things. One is that it results in an improvement in collection efficiency quite significantly by about 10 to 15 to 20% over current levels. Also, it allows the company to rationalize manpower. Now, this is a bit of a ruthless statement that I'm making, but Most companies today do not have the luxury of carrying a large population of people who are consistently underperforming. And therefore, the objective would be to keep performance at the same level or improve the performance while rationalizing costs. And one of the most effective ways of doing that is to kind of ensure that we cut the fat from the lean and keep the management manpower level at a very, very effective, optimized level. The other point today is that, while many companies have been on an expansion spree in terms of adding branches, given today's scenario, a lot of companies will be actually looking at rationalization and figuring out which branches to retain, which branches to kind of reduce kind of exposure on, and even which branches to shut down. Allows the company to take an informed decision on such a strategic event. Even if you move on to the field investigation part, you can actually eliminate fraud by ensuring that the executive is actually going and meeting the customer at the address given by the customer, again in real time. And the intervention in terms of the technology is very, very limited. Moving on to the last component of, can we just move on to the strategy part, please? Thank you. So here, I talked about the rationalization of branches in the earlier slide. Here, technology and platform allows you to actually take a very, very informed decision on where to open new branches based on significant layering of demographic and socio-economic data. And if you look at, you can actually look at existing branches, look at which are the high-performance branches and which are the non-high-performance branches, and use that same to extrapolate social and demographic data into new locations and take an informed decision on where to open branches. So you have bottom-up information coming up from the field managers in terms of where branches can be opened, information platform to take an informed call. The optimization, of course, of existing branches is based on, again, socioeconomic data, the customer spread, and detailing of where potential customer segments lie. And therefore, you can have a pinpoint approach to manpower placement for business generation. And again, in most lending companies, you have product adjacencies like, you cross-sell insurance, etc. Again, Geospatial's platform, which we'll cover in greater detail, allows you to, again, examine the markets at a location level, at a geographic level, and ensure that there's an optimization in terms of utilization of product adjacencies. So as a line manager, my association with Geospatial is, I just wish that we had this earlier, and maybe we could have improved the performance of our businesses that I have run in the past. And it's very simple to use. It's very easy to understand. It gives real-time output based on the inputs that we have, as well as the fact that it is very, very competitively priced. And I would really, kind of suggest that, that we do a POC with Geospatial to actually see the product in action. And with that, I hand it over to Dhruva to take you through this in greater detail. Dhruva, over to you.
Thank you, Kaushik ji. Thanks a lot. So our next participant, in fact, would be coming in from esri team and from Geospatial. Just to add in there, the technology comes in from ESRI, and the services and the solution which get offered onto the platform. The main technology comes in from ESRI. And so we'll have Asad. Asad is part of ESRI. He's part of the technical team. He'll be taking you through a lot of demos. And we'll also have Dhruva. Dhruva is a geo-evangelist and CEO at Geospatial, one of our premium partners. Like, they offer solutions mainly into the FSI space. He has several years of experience in geospatial technologies and experience of working in diverse markets. In fact, he started his journey in the corporate world as a part of esri, like he had been based out of esri Europe. And then he came back to India and started his venture. Dhruva is a visionary, innovative, and transformational leader with keen ability to help position companies for innovation and profitable growth through deeper business insights by leveraging mainly geospatial technologies. So I welcome Dhruva and Asad. So Dhruva, say over to you, sharing more about the technologies that we're talking about. Yeah.
Thanks, Rahul. And good morning, everybody. And just to echo what Rahul and Kaushik said, hope you're all keeping safe. Looks like the pandemic situation should be over in the next few months, hopefully. But yeah, thanks, Rahul and the esri team for having us here today. And thank you, Kaushik, for a wonderful introduction. So at Geospark, as Kaushik mentioned, we build solutions on the esri platform for financial services customers. We leverage the capability that esri brings through its rich and diverse tools and analytics capabilities. But we try and make it relevant for financial services organizations. And today I'll walk you through a few of the use cases that we have seen, expanding on what Kaushik talked about, and see how it actually can add real value in every part of a lending or a financial services company. And that will be followed by some live demonstrations that Asad will take you through that showcases how this can actually be brought to life through the esri platform. So just a quick note about us. So as Rahul mentioned, I started Geospatial in 2015 after a few years with esri in the UK. And we offer geospatial-led solutions to answer operational challenges. And specifically today we'll be talking about the BFSI segment. If you think about any banking financial services organization, we see primarily 5 sort of key pillars that underpin the day-to-day operations as well as the strategic growth of an organization. You start with origination on the left, which is the first point of meeting a customer. Then you move on to once you acquire a customer, how do you underwrite them better? And once you underwrite them in the insurance world, how do you then manage your portfolio better? And then ultimately, how do you, if you're in the lending space, how do you ensure you collect better and reduce the non-performing assets? And then finally, how do you grow your company, using cross-sell and upsell as a key strategy of growth? And we have found that Geospatial can underpin each of these pillars and provide you the strategic advantage. So if you look at origination, there's a bunch of things that we've been doing recently, which is sort of basically combining the socio-demographic and economic data that is available through the bunch of partners and the data resources that we work with. And then that data is very, very granular. So you can look at understanding your marketplace, assessing the target opportunities. So before you even go out there to set up a branch or an ATM, how do you create a digital twin to be able to answer those questions virtually before you sort of make any investment? And Asad will show you a quick demo about this as we move forward. We also have a bunch of tools that improve what we call geocoding or mapping of customers. Often the biggest problem with a lender or a banking institution is that you have millions of customers who provide you these KYC documents and that have addresses. But these addresses are often very difficult to map or change into lat long, right? So how do you take an address and map it into a very, very accurate lat long? So that's another tool utility that we've integrated that allows you to pass an address and get a very accurate lat long as an output. Once you do that, then you can use the rest of the rich data to really make a decision on where to open branches. And often the situation is not about just opening branches. It could also be where to close branches. So rationalization is also a very important use case, as Kaushik alluded to. COVID has hit everybody hard. So how do you make, operations more efficient? By removing the right branches. It's not just reducing branches, but I need to remove the ones that are not performing. So how do you classify performing and non-performing branches? And we use location and location relevant data to drive that decision. If we come on to underwriting, this is more relevant for insurance, but also for lending companies. I think I'll talk about lending first, which is basically a lot of India is new to credit or have a thin file. So you don't have much information about their credit history or their transaction patterns. So how do you then make a decision on somebody who is credit worthy or not in order to onboard them as a customer? So we've got essentially what we call a sort of geographic risk score that's available for the entire country and allows you to assess the credit worthiness of a customer before they actually come on board. Now we use a whole bunch of different proxies and data sources and modeling to arrive at this, but this allows you to make a better credit assessment of an end customer before they get onboarded. This can be done also to enrich a customer's information. So as long as you know where the customer stays, you can understand, are they within a geo limit? Are they close to a branch? All of these kind of things. And in the insurance space, this is equally relevant. And there's another demo that Asad will show you where everything is based on risk of, say, proximity to rivers or, say, risks to earthquakes. So the location of the property, especially in property insurance, you need to understand where the location is and also what the risk of natural calamities are to that location. We've also seen use cases around, say, risk to theft or risk to robbery based on crime rates that are in the area. So there are a lot of variables that you can add using location at the underwriting process. And again, one of the points that Kaushik mentioned is all of this can be seamlessly done, right? So it does not have to have a separate application. It all connects via APIs, and you use that API to run in the background in your onboarding and underwriting process. Then we look at collections. Kaushik touched on this a bit as well. So if you think about, some of the largest NBFCs in the country had a huge exposure during COVID, and during the moratorium, it was, basically a step back to understand how they would cope with this. And then now the moratorium is over, we look at how do you go back and collect from your customers, which locations are actually accessible. Are there certain areas where agents are overlapping with each other's territory? So all of this is geographic in nature. And so the solution that we've put together allows you to track these agents in real time, allows you to plan their territories better, allows you to reduce the overall distances that they travel, but also improve the auto allocation logic. So essentially you're improving the efficiency of the system, but reducing the overall manual input that's required. And again, a lot of the factors, as I mentioned, are geographic in nature, and therefore brings about a lot of real world estimates into the model that we built. Then we look at portfolio management. So at a broader scale, when you're looking at the entire business as an enterprise, let's say you're a large enterprise, you will have millions of customer data sets, you'll have vendors, you'll have partners. So have you really created a centralized command center where you can see all of this information, view it in real time, create reports, be able to take decisions? And are you enabling your data science and analytics teams with the right geospatial tools and data? We find that a lot of financial services providers have very, very advanced, credit modeling, fraud modeling, churn modeling tools and AI teams, but they're not leveraging geospatial data as much. And so geospatial data and tools can really give you a huge uplift in the model outcomes that you're driving already today. And essentially managing the entire portfolio using this geospatial tool set gives you that lift in prediction as well as accuracy of your models. And we've seen large organizations in this country really take advantage of the geospatial data and tools that complements what they're already doing through analytics and AI, but really gives them that edge in that modeling space. And then finally looking at cross-sell upsell, right? So a lot of businesses after COVID are sort of changing to a D2C sort of business. And many of you may have experienced this, that you seem to be ordering more online. So the brand has to come to you as a person, right? Come to your house. You're not walking into a store anymore. So how does the brand engage you? How do you as a brand engage with the customer in their local area? And so again, using location and hyperlocal, say, targeted marketing, you can deliver the right message to the audience in the right place at the right time. And enabling, using the Esri platform, we can enable that targeted advertising or the targeted outreach within the areas that the customer either lives or works or travels through, right? And so a relevant offer to a customer at the point in which they're ready to buy will directly translate into better redemptions of, say, offers than randomly sending them an offer. So we've seen this in action in multiple places, not just in India, but in Southeast Asia as well. And we think that the market is now maturing to the point that actually people will value the timeliness of engagement by a brand. And the timeliness and the hyperlocal nature actually makes it a very winning combination for us to have. So I'll now hand over to Asad, who will talk a little bit about some of the cases that we mentioned, show you some demonstrations, and then we can answer questions later. So Asad, over to you.
Thanks, Ruba, for the insightful information. So let me just share my screen. Hope my screen is visible.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. And I'll take it for some of the actionable insights that Dhruva and the preceding speakers have spoken about, like what is the importance of the location intelligence for the BFSI sector altogether. Starting up with the one of the problem actually, or one of the challenge area with the segment is about the business expansion, market expansion. So you need to answer the questions like where you need to grow. So it was a bohemian kind of a answer that we used to solve with GIS or the location intelligence. But right now, using ESRI platform and with the expertise in the BFSI sector from Geospatial and the respected agencies, we are not even getting the answers to where you need to grow, but why you need to grow there. So with the artificial intelligence and a lot of geo-analytics platform that we give it out to you. So let's see actually how they solve up these problems, some of the glimpse actually. So over here, as you can see, my problem statement is to know where I need to grow of my ATMs, actually ATM site location. So this is an area from the Mumbai sub-region. And what I have done right now, I have first of all geocoded all the customers' location. I have done the profiling as well. Profiling is very, very important. It's important to understand what type of a segment of customers you are actually targeting. Be it like a medium class customer, is it like a students for a home for a education loan, or a salaried person for a home loan, or a car loan, or any vehicle loan, or at a somewhat like at a mid-age person who's looking for personal loan and all those segments. What are their actually wealth data sets actually that we can understand from that point of view the targeted audience. So over here we have actually profiled the customers from the databases like low, high, and medium in terms of the wealth or the spending pattern that we have the data sets for. So red, green, and yellow. So these are the profiling of the customer that we have targeted. And over here, these are the customers of the bank actually, of our bank. And I need to know where I need to place up my new ATM site location. So second step is to understand, I did the profiling because as I mentioned, like I have segregated the three types of customers as high, low, and medium. I would also be interested to know where are the hotspots. Unfortunately, thanks to the COVID reason that people are nowadays understanding the hotspot or where are the closed areas and all those from the GIS aspects, like which colonies are closed. The same thing over here. So what we have done, we have aggregated all those customers as a hotspot. So where the intensity is right now in the bluer shade, so I have the higher classes of the people who resides, and the amber in color, the low and medium. So that represents the profiling that we have done, the low and the medium ones. Third is we understand the traffic of the people goes around the POIs, the point of interest, be it like any retail malls, be it like any education center, be it like any transportation hub, bus stops, metro, or like ATM's location also. So we just plot first of all the POI data information. So over here we have appended the information for places of entertainment, so be it like malls or solo multiplexes. Then we have hospitals. Third one is about the restaurants for the dining and for different leverage services. And the fourth one, we have petrol pumps. We can also append this information with extra POIs like petrol pumps or like schools or like offices, office hubs also. We can append those pieces of information too. So just to give you a glimpse, like these are some of the POIs. You can click any particular piece of information by clicking on a particular POI, you'll get the entire attributable information for the same. So that's my third step. Fourth is what I'll do the same thing. I'll just aggregate all these point of interest information and would like to know the intensity, the heat map actually, the hotspot, that where they actually lying geographically, which place they are lying. So this is how the red color I have segregated it in terms of the point of interest information, which actually can give me like a points of interest layer where I need to target my new ATM location. Now the fifth one is just like a cookie cutter. So as Rahul also mentioned about the GIS, it's just like a pizza layer. You keep on adding your layer on top of each other and then you keep on performing analysis. So what I've done, I have added the hotspot analysis, hotspot layer actually of customers. One. Second, I have appended as a topping the hotspot layer of the POIs. So this is how they are actually overlapping on top of each other. Now, this is where I get an interest and gives me an insightful information that where are the maximum POIs and how is my actually customer data look like. Second is what I can do. I can simply carve out the information location, like I can use the intersection. I can carve out the locations like these, where actually I can know the common area, where are the maximum customers and where are the maximum POIs. So this is how I have carved out the information in a reddish color, where these are the locations within the Mumbai region where I've got a higher intensity of the customers as a POI. So what I can do, I can simply place my ATMs, existing ATMs, but also I've got a criteria. It would be coming up from marketing or sales team or from the strategical team that you should have at least 200 meters of a buffer around them. I mean, like there should be no ATM should be placed with each other within 200 meters buffer. So I have simply created the 200 meters buffer as a threshold that no ATM should be placed underneath that. So that's my third layer. And that's where actually I'll simply do the intersection again to understand the leftover areas for the POIs and the existing customers that are not within the 200 meters of existing ATMs. So that's how actually I'm able to get the answers for. So finally, I can get my competitors' ATMs to where my competitors' ATMs are placed. Where actually it could be like I can have a better strategy if I have the competition data. So that's where actually I placed myself in a reddish polygons. These red polygons are the suitable sites for my new ATM locations, and the blue ones are the competitors' data. And finally, I can have my proposed ATM sites with respect to the 200 meters from the neighbor or the adjacent or the existing ATM locations. So this is how you keep on asking the GIS system, like where to open and how to open and why to open there. So that's actually bring out to me a conclusion that it's not limited to ATM site selection. It could be like shifting up your office location, as Dhruva mentioned, like because of COVID region, there have been a lot of shift of the business locations too, from cities to cities, and with a different way of different locations to target for. So that's how you can get the answers we need to target and how you can open it in a best and most prominent manner in terms of getting the logical answers through geoanalytics. So second one, let's take it from the bank side again. This is a typical case like where you have a voluminous data coming up. I believe and I am sure that you would be definitely managing up a voluminous data coming up from ERP or from native databases. So what you can do is just like the databases can give you the reports only in terms of tabular format. Why not to have something like what exactly looks in the geographical world actually? So this is how GIS helps you out with. So I have appended the application coming up from the databases. I have connected to the databases, and this is how I have plotted up the data. This is typically a branch level summary analysis for the higher stakeholders or for the branch managers or the for the decision makers. You would like to understand how your branches are operating on a quarterly basis. You would like to extract out the reports. So GIS extend the capabilities of giving out to you the trends and patterns that you can bring out from the databases onto a map base. So every single point over here tells me about a branch of my bank, where I've got like number of accounts, how many of them active, savings account, current accounts, premium accounts, and all those attributable information coming up from the native databases. This is specifically for the Maharashtra. So I would like to start with, first of all, I would like to know as per the region, like how many branches are there in what all locations. So if people say that, okay, if a manager says that, okay, let me try to understand the Nagpur territory, how many branches are there, so I can get that information in a real world that, okay, how clustered they are towards the downtown of Nagpur city and as well as outside at the outskirts too. So if I click on any particular branch ID, I can get all the attributable information coming up from the databases. I can simply view the attributable information in a spreadsheet or two. So it's completely based upon the at a zoom level. So easily you can carve out these reports. Like let's say for Kolhapur, I can get the information for the same, like how many branches are over here and how well they are spread. Maybe because or maybe because of some reasons you would like to expand your business. So as a gap analysis where you need to grow, you can have an understanding how you actually are placed geographically. Second is let's try to understand from the reporting and charting. So what I would like to do, if system says that give me a branch level comparison report, how they're actually performing. And what I can do, I can simply draw an area of freehand area across a particular region to collect the data set for the selected branches and say apply. So I can get this attributable information in terms of chart too, which are interrelated. So if I click on a particular legend of a chart, I can simply zoom on to that particular territory or towards that particular branch location. So this is how my data looks like, where these are actually savings account. The orange ones are my saving accounts for every branch, and the blue ones, orange ones are my current accounts, and the blue ones are my saving accounts for all the branches. So for these, this is how I can get my traditional chart-based report as well. Next, let's try to see from the summary side how this data looks like. So over here, at a nutshell, if I want to have a holistic picture, how these branches are performing in terms of the saving accounts that they hold and how many of them are active, inactive as a report, I got a tool to give you a quick summary. So this is how my data looks like. I've got total average accounts for all the branches of a state. I know how many are on an average inactive accounts, average savings accounts, and average current accounts. The same thing, I can have it done at the territory level as well. So if I would like to bifurcate and see my result in terms of the territories, so maximum accounts per territory, maximum inactive accounts, maximum saving accounts, all these pieces of information, you can get this. So let's try to zoom in and see how my data divides up and splits up into different figures. So this is how it is. So you keep on zooming in on a particular street level or a particular drill down to a particular specific micro level. The reports will keep on changing up and will give you the real-time statistics at the below. So this is important. How handy it is actually to save up your time in order to provide up the report, in order to take up your strategical decisions, important strategical decisions to understand how are your branches operating, or from other KPIs monitoring for the branches. You get a crux actually of the entire databases, because we can integrate with the databases, with the voluminous databases, big data stores or big databases. We can get the piece of information onto a platform and showcase you in a most prominent and the most fashionable manner that can help you out to save up your time, as well as help you to take up more logical answers. Third thing, from the insurance side, and this is how the data looks like if I plot it up onto my entire GIS platform. So first of all, I would like to know the districts. So these are my districts where I've got the total insurance value of my customers, TIV value for my customers, how they are actually placed up across different districts. So the darker in shades are the high density one, and the yellowish in color are the low intensity one. So I have aggregated all those pieces of information over here across these districts. This is important for the cross-selling as well as upselling of your products, where you need to focus upon how actually you would like to ask your underwriters to, like, where they need to focus upon or make up their territories. Maybe because of the low intensity of somewhere in MP region, central India, you would like to have a better policies to be rolled out, or some more attractive policies that can bring out more customers for you. So this is how the data looks like if you are bringing up your entire business data onto a GIS platform. Let's try to look at it from a different angle. If I would like to understand policies based on the TIV, in terms of like the same thing over here in terms of ovals, I can have it done. So the larger ovals tells me like the higher number of the customers, a higher number of the policies, not the total insurance value actually, but it's the volume of the TIV customers that I have it. So I can see how they are actually placed. I have leased in central part of India, but I've got good in terms of Northeast or as well as Central, as well as in Deep South. I've got ample amount of customers. So this is how you can understand how your business data looks like across the country, divided into district, but it can be further into pin codes that are villages also. So which all the policies are in force? So this is how it is. How are my customers look like actually, how they are actually placed up across which all pin codes? What is the policy type they have taken up? Like over here, they have taken up for the flood. What is the total insurance value? What's the name of the owner? Which is city they belongs to? So you can get all these piece of profiled details. You can do the profiling in terms of color to understand them better, or you can simply click on a particular policyholder's data set and you can look the insightful information from that. Then I would like to know that how is my policies are exposed to the entire region. So the same thing what I have divided into hex bins. It could be like your grids also. Dhruva did mention, I believe, that in the few sessions as well, we are going to speak about the micro market too. So it's like you can divide your entire country or entire state in terms of grids like 25 kilometer by 25 kilometer or 5 kilometer by 5 kilometer, and then you aggregate this piece of information. You get a very granular level of information to understand how the policies holders are across a river or in a hilly area or any particular metro cities where they're actually pockets that are divided in terms of the source of income or the spending patterns. There's a huge difference that we have seen like for Mumbai or for Delhi or for metro cities. So this is how for the insurance companies, the business data on a GIS platform can help the underwriters for the claims management and the fraud analytics as well, because it is aided by the mobile applications. So we have the mobile applications which you can extend with your field crew people who would like to first of all investigate on the ground what is the actual condition onto the field, and then you would like to disperse the insurance amount for the client. So you can have your fraud detection also to be done. Looking at it from the catastrophic analysis, the same thing. Dhruva did also mention about like how you are placed in terms of the disasters prone area. Is it like near to the earthquake? Which seismic zone you are falling into? And what I believe and what I've seen actually, we have seen it from the crop insurance side too, that the coastal areas actually are very much impacted by cyclones and hurricanes and the change in weather. So you would like to understand it from those aspects too. So let's see how our data looks like. So this is again the policy claims data. First of all, I would like to understand how is my rainfall happening. So this is a typical data set that we have from coming up from different sources like rainfall in how it has happened. So for a crop insurance side, or from understanding like the farming side. So maybe because of paddy lands, they require a particular amount of water actually to be sown out for and then cultivated during the season. So how the rainfall is happening, you can understand it from those aspects too. I would like to know that if I've got like territory stats by loss actually, how much loss have occurred because of for the end customer. So this is how I have aggregated the information across the different districts in terms of the amounts. So the darker ones are the territory stats by the loss. Third one is about the policy claims by the loss. So the piece of information I'm looking in terms of understanding the in a different manner. The oval, the larger oval size is basically telling me the policy claims by loss. The larger the radius of the oval is, the higher the loss is. And finally, if I would like to understand and have a quick query, so we are not looking into this simple traditional or looking visualization. GIS is not only limited to the visualization, but performing analysis and doing the SQL or any kind of a query that you would like to build. So I have already built up a query where I would like to understand it from the monthly premium that I'm allocating. So I have done that, and these are the pockets, these are the districts where actually I'm these are the pockets where actually my monthly premium is more than 260 rupees per month or so. So this is how I can get up the information altogether. Now, moving on to my second last demo as of now. So what I've done, this is specifically to understand the interpolation or for prediction of the data sets. So sometime back, actually, there was a forest fire, or we have seen in Australia also about the bushfire or so. So we can get this piece of information through freely available data sources, and this is publicly available. So what I have done, I have tried to put up the data set of the fire breakouts that have happened, and this is especially for the Uttarakhand state. Now, as an underwriter, I would like to know that these are the data sets of the fire. And can I have a quick piece of information where I can know the intensity of the fire, that it can spread out and what coverage it would be? So yes, using the geo tools that we have it for you, the interpolation techniques, we can give you the forest fire prediction like these, where the red shows the higher one and the amber in color, the blue shades are the lesser ones. So maybe I can ask my marketing or sales team to please target on this particular region, or you can get the people insured for, or maybe I can share up this data set with the people, localite people over there, so that they can get themselves, they can get their farming land or get their assets insured. So this is how the interpolation techniques works all about. So it's not limited to this. We have the AI and ML based tools also, which can help you out with the predictions and help you out with the data science technique also. You can embed those and you can perform these analysis for sure. The last one actually, and this is specifically for the people to understand it once you are integrating with the business analytics tools like Power BI. So this is typically a Power BI. We have the extensions available for Power BI. And what I can do right now, let me just enable the layers. So this is for the money lenders. So for the people who are giving the loans to the different segments, like for salaried or what type of customers. So this is how my data looks like. It is a map within Power BI powered by esri. So I know that as a part of my loan that I've given, it's majorly for agricultural loan. And then once I click on a particular piece of chart or legend that I'm looking into, like amount paid by customers, I get the entire reports right in a solicitor manner. So in a crux. So over here, I can get these piece of information right away. Additionally, it is not limited to this. I would like to extend my capabilities to understand how am I placed. So let's try to search it quickly all together. So I'm searching it using the platform. Let's say daily Connaught Place area. Okay, so it has selected this particular dot over here as and I can know that how many customers are placed nearby. In addition to that, I can perform the analysis within Power BI that can be like creating up drive times or bringing up the demographic data. So over here, I have selected that piece of information for the daily region, and let me just quickly do that. And I'm going to go with let's say 5 kilometer, but I would like to have a drive time done. I can simply go with saying I need 10 minutes drive time, and I can simply click OK. So over here, it has created the drive times on the fly within Power BI. So you can see the drive time right away onto the region that I have plotted. Let me zoom in. Right. So I can know how many customers are falling onto the POI and with the consulted Connaught Place as a location, how many customers are falling into. Next and very important one, and this is where actually I would be ending up my session, that you can bring up the data from our ArcGIS gallery, from demographic gallery. So you can bring out the data for the entire 2020 data set that we have recently updated in October. So as a piece of that, if I would like to append my piece of append this analysis work with average household work, I can have it done. So you can see these are my sub-district information that I have it all for you, like 5.5 to 7.x people per household. This is what the region shows like, and I have the entire demographic available with the vintage of recently, I mean like last month updated at a sub-district level, not only household but other variables also. So this is how I can add my entire demographic data set coming up from esri and within the different BI tools out of the box. So thank you, and I conclude my session, and over to you, Rahul.
Thanks a lot, Asad. So I'll welcome Reliance General Insurance, the team from Reliance General Insurance. So we have with us Mr. Vijay, Deepak Vijay, we have Atul, we have Prakash. And so they will be talking about crop insurance. They are part of, claims and underwriting team. And they'll be sharing with us the usage, how they have been using esri technology in managing, crop insurance. So welcome you all. Thanks a lot, Deepak. All yours, yeah, please.
Thanks a lot, Rahul. Good morning to everybody. We, on behalf of Reliance General Insurance, thanks esri to provide such an environment and opportunity for us to present our use cases, which we have been discussing with esri since a long time back now. A brief introduction of Reliance General Insurance would be like we have been into the crop insurance since past 7 years now. So taking it ahead, we are the fourth largest, insurance company in the sector. We have been focusing on the usage of technology, and it has been since inception that we have been trying to use almost 4% of our GWP, that is the gross written premium, to be utilized for the technology applications for our insurance purposes, not only restricted to the crop insurance, but also the other parts or the other segments such as property health and motor also as well. So now, looking at this particular usage cases, we'll be running through some of the analysis that we do in crop insurance. I'm very proud to say that we are the most advanced company in crop insurance segment, whether it may be related to pricing, whether it may be related to crop cutting experiments, whether it may be related to crop health monitoring, even for the settlement of claims, etc. So we have been engaged with esri and talking to a lot of people here in as to how we could, go beyond our limits and do different kinds of analysis for our use cases. So we have got this tool since almost 4 years now, discussing with esri, and we have been using these tools to the utmost benefits of the farmers. So as my slide goes, we have been covering almost 16 plus states in India for the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, and 11 plus states for the restructured crop insurance scheme. So taking it ahead, I would say that we have done almost 73,369 crores plus of sum insured. Very huge quantum in terms of sum insured, in terms of risk analysis, and that is where these softwares of esri, ArcGIS, really helps us to look at the risk in different ways. We have insured more than 1.15 crore farmers in all these states across the territories. Most importantly, we are focusing on both the major crops as well as the minor crops in our portfolios during the Kharif season as well as during the Rabi seasons. So different crops such as cotton, groundnut, wheat, paddy, soybean, and minor crops like mustard, bajra, sugarcane, jowar has been the analysis has been really good for us to look at how the crop is behaving during the season, whether it may be Kharif or whether it may be Rabi. Different kinds of calamities, whether it may be local calamities or say post-harvest calamities due to rains, due to drought, and a lot of things has been taken care by using these softwares. As part of the current year, we are present in 4 states in India, wherein we implement the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, that is Haryana, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and Orissa. We are there in 35 districts in different clusters as per the state government utilities, and we are happy to implement this Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana in these states. So not restricting to these states, but this is the current portfolio that we have as of now. I request my colleague Mr. Prakash to take it forward from here.
Hello. Good morning to all.
Yeah, go ahead, Prakash.
So we will start with the objective of the analysis. So here we will cover the agriculture map or crop type maps, and then we will discuss the surface analysis, then crop health monitoring part, what is the land use and land cover pattern and area estimation, then crop classification, then we will move towards the localized calamity analysis, that is drought analysis, cyclone path tracking and distribution of rainfall over the region. So for the study we have selected Jalna district of the Maharashtra. The process we will discuss the use of the software what we are using in NV, and we are doing digitization process and all in ArcGIS, and finally we are getting the processed image. It is only a sample, we are doing multiple algorithm behind it. So discussing about the agriculture map or crop type map, so we are collecting crop wise sample of as a ground truth, and we are mapping into the district map of Jalna. And in crop health monitoring point, we are collecting the points of the crop as an indicator of health, that is good, average or poor, and plotting into the map of Jalna. And in the surface analysis, we are creating digital elevation model and what is the sloping percentage of the location or block wise location and hill shade area of the regions. Coming into the crop health monitoring point, so we are doing crop health monitoring by using two types of data set, that is optical data set and radar data set. So here we are using optical data set for the Rabi season, and we have generated three types of indices, remote sensing driven indices, that is normalized difference vegetation index, normalized difference moisture index and normalized difference water index. So these indices are very useful to identify where the crop is actually in the problem area. So here by sitting office we can focus only those regions where the problem is actually there. And along with it we are also computing that false color composite and land use land cover pattern of the Jalna district block wise. And after that we are classifying the crop, major crop actually, that is Bengal gram and sorghum. Same practice we have done for radar data, that is SAR data set, and this is for the Kharif season, Kharif 2020. So we have observed that more than 90% area of the Jalna district is agricultural land, remaining is the non-agriculture, barren, etc., etc. And the similar pattern we have used two classifier for the for the acreage estimation, that is random forest classification and radar based vegetation index, that is RVI classification. So here we have observed that similar number of total area having slightly variation within the crops. So we have done this activity for the acreage estimation part. And the crop classification with the help of radar data set for the Kharif season, we have identified the major crop, cotton and soybean are the major crops over the location of Jalna. Now coming into the drought analysis, so we have done this analysis for the Devbhoomi Dwarka district of Gujarat. So we have computed three indices as NDVI, NDMI and NDWI on the fortnight basis. So we have created a consolidated report and submitted to the government of Gujarat that these locations are severely identified with the drought. And after that, government of Gujarat had prepared a local team to identify that what exactly is there. Is it drought or not? And after some time, they have declared a drought condition over the location. And that benefit goes to the farmer. So this is the beauty of the software we are getting from it. And along with this, we have also done a block-wise trend analysis of NDVI and NDWI. It shows the behavior of remote sensing indices over 10 years for three blocks of that Devbhoomi Dwarka district. And along with it, as a supporting document, we have also submitted the rainfall data, which is collected from the Indian Meteorological Department, which really shows the deficit rainfall over there. So government of Gujarat really has given a benefit to the farmer, as our report you can say. Now we are also tracking a path of cyclone, which is really beneficial for us, and we are giving benefit to our motor and property teams to perform their business during the pre and post cyclone days, and they are preparing themselves for handle to the claims data and the claim queries, etc. Coming into the rainfall distribution, we have also plotted, with the help of our GIS software, the block-wise rainfall into the map, and along with it, we are correlating these rainfall with the multiple, factors like remote sensing indices and other variable factors and non-variable factors, and moving towards the yield estimation part. I'm not going deeply into it because of, due to the time lag. So we are also, doing yield estimation part also. Now I am giving, I'm switching the slide to Mr. Deepak to conclude and the benefit of the softwares.
Thanks, Prakash. The ArcGIS and NV that has been very useful to us has had a wide range of analysis and the purposes as well. We are not restricted to whatever has been shown to the slide in the slides as of now, but many more use cases. But due to the time lag, I would say that it's really difficult to showcase a lot of things here. When I say that the drought analysis has been done, it has the software has already been exposed to the flood analysis also. So vegetative indices plays a very important role wherein the crop health monitoring can be done based on vegetative indices and the water indices that we have and plotted on the different clusters that we have in different districts or say in the state for that matter. It really helps us to keep an update and also update the state governments and the government of India that we are closely monitoring our own clusters, districts in the state towards the best, indicators for the crop insurance. Taking it ahead, I would like to say that not only in the crop insurance, we have also expanded this, as Prakash rightly said, towards the motor and property and also health insurance segments. Just to quote an example, I would like to tell you all the participants that if we would have been engaging a private agency to do such kind of analysis that we have shown it right now, per district, the cost of per district analysis per season would be 5 to 6 lakhs almost. And as we have 135 districts in India, in different states, in the 4 states, the cost would say come around 1.75 crores per season. That is, it is for Kharif as well as 1.75 crores for the Rabi season also. So putting it together, we would have spent almost 3.5 crore rupees in a year for doing such kind of analysis. You imagine if you get more districts, more amount of money to be pumped in for such kind of analysis, and this thing would really spend our expenses over the analysis part. So curbing that down, putting our own teams to do such kind of analysis really helped us to gain more knowledge in this field and do the satellite imagery analysis. So not only this, but also the duration of doing analysis, wherein we had approached the private agencies to do, we did it in-house and we could save on the time as well. So a lot of benefits that we have gained through these softwares, and we are really looking ahead to the esri team towards getting more and more advantages. So that's all from our side. Thanks a lot. I hand it over to Mr. Rahul again.
Thanks a lot, Deepak. Thanks a lot, Prakash. Nothing as a salesperson, right? Nothing more. It's so wonderful to hear a happy customer. I really appreciate. Thanks a lot. Now I'll invite Mr. Siddharth Shah. Mr. Siddharth Shah is a consultant with Deloitte. He has 10 years of job experience in working with financial institutions, both banking and insurance across the US, Europe, and South Asia. For the last 3 years, he has been working with clients on large transformation programs to grow their top line and reimagine the core operations using digital capabilities. So welcome you, Siddharth.
Thank you, Rahul. I hope you can hear me all right.
Yeah, you are very, very well audible.
Perfect.
You have control of the presentation?
Yes. All right. So Thank you, Rahul, and everybody. Thank you so much. It's always hard to go last. But what I will do is I'll probably not spend as much time talking about use cases because a lot of my fellow speakers earlier today have spent considerable time talking about very solid use cases on how geospatial data can be used. So just to add on to what Rahul said, I am an associate director with Monitor Deloitte, which is Deloitte's strategy consulting practice. And one of the things that the Monitor Group, even before it was part of Deloitte, is known for is our playing to win methodology. And our methodology essentially says that strategy is not a one-time exercise, or competitive advantage is not something that you create once, because you cannot sustain it if you do not keep working on it. So strategy for us is actually a cascade of choices. Those are choices that you make every day. Those are choices you make every quarter as a business. And essentially, if you think about what we help our clients do is we amass a whole host of data, we synthesize it, and we present to them what are the choices of decisions they need to make and what is the implication of the outcome that those choices can enable. Underpinning all of this is the fact that how do you use data to really differentiate and get the right sort of information or decisions for your clients or for your organization, right? And our playing to win framework seeks to answer two major questions. Where do we want to play and how do we want to win? So if we double click a little bit on where do we want to play, there are four major pillars that we typically talk about. The first is what geographies should a company focus on? What products should a company focus on? What are the customer segments we want to work on or we want to target? What are our focus segments? And lastly, what are the channels best suited to get to these customers to deliver our products in the geographies that we want to? So it's almost an integrated set of choices that we need to make. And geospatial data has now become a clear differentiator in being able to develop those choices. So I'll take a couple of very simple examples, right? When you talk about within financial services, talk about geographies, we've heard numerous examples earlier in this discussion around, areas where you're at risk of a drought, which is why you need to understand what those areas are. Increasingly in the recent past, we've seen that gold loans have seen a significant uptick just given the COVID-19 crisis and liquidity issues that some of the socioeconomic classes and segments have faced. So those tend to be clustered within a city as well. So what are those micro markets or what are those geographies that you want to focus on? Geospatial data allows you to make those choices. It then allows you to design products that can be targeted at those in those geographies. So the crop insurance product that you offer in, say, an area like Kerala is very different from a crop insurance product that you may choose to offer in, say, Rajasthan. Is going to be very different than what you would offer, say, in Vidarbha, right? And again, having data that talks about seasonality, that talks about what crops are planted, when is the Rabi or Kharif crop planted, what is the risk gradient associated with each of those. You can define and design far more targeted products as an insurance company or even as a bank when you're thinking about specific geographies and micro markets and what are the implications of serving customers over there. The third example that I want to take probably around customer segment is, again, figuring out what are the segments and where are they concentrated. So a very topical area that I often speak to banks about is banks always tend to think about customer segments as a function of what is the total relationship value that the customer has with the bank, right? So bank X, the customer has a total relationship value of 50 lakh rupees. So this customer is a high potential, high net worth customer. But that's actually a little wrong because a customer that has only 2 lakh rupees of total relationship value with a bank might actually be a genuine UHNI or HNI that you want to target. So again, you have the ability of using geospatial data to determine who those customers are who might have a small relationship with you, but have a significant potential for you to tap into. An example could be, let's pick, for those who live in Mumbai, if there's a customer lives in Altamount Road, but has only 2 lakh rupees in deposits with you, chances are that the customer or his or her family is a fairly affluent family. So that you need to service them, you need to cater to them differently. And that allows you to come up with a proposition that's truly differentiated for each segment that you want to target. Lastly, we talk about channels, and channels are both physical and digital, right? And as you think about physical channels specifically, I think a lot of banks and insurance companies have invested significantly in setting up branch operations, both in urban and in rural centers. But it's very important to realize what kind of an offering do you want to put. Do you want a full service branch? Do you want a bare bones branch? For banks, do you want to have a gold loan hub in areas where you anticipate higher gold loans? Do you need a premier branch in certain geographies? Again, taking a micro market geospatial focused view allows you to make those choices and ensure that the outcomes that you're trying to are far more spot on. So this is the where to play part. When you start answering the question around how to win, it's really defining your entire value proposition. And this value proposition spans all of the 4 where to play choices you've made. So for every intersection of a customer segment, a product, a geography, and a channel, what is the differentiated value proposition that you're going to take there? And this is where data can become, again, super helpful. So one of the key examples we've heard of in the recent past is digital marketing. With social distancing coming in place, OOH outlets of media and all, the ROI on that tends to be low. And many more companies are focusing on digital marketing. So the platforms, for example, that Facebook and Instagram provide, they allow you to market to an accuracy of about 2 kilometers from your location, right? So this is how you overlay geospatial data to say, Dharavi in Mumbai has a certain customer segment, or T Nagar in Chennai has a certain customer segment, or Noida, within Noida Sector 16 has a certain customer segment. Now, for customers that are within a 2-kilometer radius, what is the most likely offering that you want to target to them? And how can you use digital marketing to reach them in a meaningful manner? So again, using the geospatial lens to have far more targeted campaigns as against, a one-size-fits-all kind of a campaign that you have through traditional media like outdoor media, television, or the likes. The other massive differentiator is underwriting again. And I think both the Reliance team and the other team spoke extensively about how you can use location data as a real tool to differentiate underwriting. And as we see more and more personalized underwriting, segmenting for an individual of one and creating bespoke offers for them, using geographic data is again a way to differentiate yourselves in the marketplace. The last thing we've seen in the recent past at least is there's a lot of M&A activity happening in financial services, right? First, SBI and its associate banks merged together. We've seen some of the public sector banks now merging together and post-merger integration is ongoing. So as you think about that, there's also the opportunity of synergy realization, right? Thinking about which bank has a better footprint in micro market. How do you want to, there's a very, very high likelihood that you'll have 2 branches across from each other from 2 different banks on the same road, and now they are the same bank. So how do you think about branch rationalization? How do you think about optimizing physical infrastructure based on density, the segment that you cater to, and really think about synergy not just from a branch standpoint, but the overall customer segment that you're focusing on. Again, the geospatial data gives you the underpinnings of how to think about it. I guess this is how you think about it, but how do you really bring this to life? And this is where, as Deloitte, we think about something called an insights-driven organization. The one thing we've realized is truly successful organizations are those that are able to look at data and imbibe it in their day-to-day decision making. Very often you will have a team sitting in the corner working with data, coming up with great insights, but it's not integrated into your day-to-day decision making. The ability to develop that, the ability to clean up data, the ability to aggregate data from different parts of this organization as well as with third parties, and then cleaning that up and being able to develop a holistic operating model that brings this together is going to be a clear differentiator. So as you think about using geospatial data, I think it's also important to see not just how can you use this data for specific use cases, many of which that were enumerated by folks on this panel, but also how do you design your organization to ensure that you can manage speedy decision making and drive the results that you so seek. So with that, I'll hand that back to Rahul and happy to take any questions.
Thanks so much, Siddharth. With that, we are towards the end of our session. I'll just put in a summary. So we are talking about esri's platform can be used by all, be it the bank, be it an NBFC, be it any financial institution, insurance organizations. Yeah. So we have looked into in banks, the use cases can be understanding where to put in across a location for a ATM or a branch, understanding the performance, say of a bank or a say ATM for that matter. So this can be used by say in the lending by the lending team, in sales, or in during collections. Like so, it can be used for understanding the delinquency or the fraud which are happening on different regions and all. We can do a performance analysis of an agent and a branch, right? So we can optimize the location. Say we can in fact define the territory of an agent. Yeah. For insurance, like we have looked into the crop insurance part of it, but there are other insurance also. In fact, so Reliance team also mentioned that they are trying to venture out into different the other segments apart from crop insurance. So it can be vehicle. Like I know about certain organizations who are looking at road insurance and all. So insurance companies like the underwriting team, the claims team, they use it across marketing across all the organizations, right? So like so it can be understanding your customer in terms of putting across a pitch for upsell and cross sell, your competition, your say prospects in terms of what media to choose, whether it's going to be electronic media or it's going to be a print media or it's going to be some hoarding across on a city, which place, which cities, at what value should I be putting across, across onto it. Yeah. So I'll thank you all for attending the session today. I'll thank all the panelists. We are open for questions. Like I can see a lot of questions on the chat window. Let me just go through them one by one. So I can start with a few simple ones. Like, is integration available with other BI tools? I'm like, very true. Like in fact, we have out of the box integration with a lot of BI tools, like be it Power BI. In fact, Asad talk about a couple of use cases where Power BI can be MicroStrategy tools or other say products. Then we have SaaS platform which we have off the shelf say integration with say these say products. Then we have a question: can I implement the esri platform on-prem? So very valid point, because of late all the solutions that we are seeing like coming on cloud. So esri's platform is also available on cloud, but we also have solutions which are available on-prem. So it's available as a software as a service. It's also available, like you can implement across on your data center. And the third is you can buy your own licenses and put it across on say Amazon platform or Microsoft Azure platform. So we have a question for the Reliance team here. Atul and Prakash, if you will want to take this one, I'm like, depending upon if it's not too confidential. What is the accuracy assessment score you get when you perform this operation? If at all it's performed, do you also make land use and land cover maps in process? Should I read it out again, Atul or say Prakash? What is the accuracy assessment score you get when you perform this operation? If at all it is performed, do you also make land use and land cover maps in process? You just need to unmute yourself.
Atul.
Okay, we can come back to this question. We have Asad, this can be taken by you. How do overlay point geometry on existing field map developed via Microsoft Power BI?
Sure. So it's possible actually what I've done right now, which I showcased, like you must be using Power BI. So we have an extension and a plugin available that's called esri maps for Power BI. You need to enable that, and then actually you would be able to bring all the PI information and route it through esri application into the Power BI. So this is how it works actually. So the PI information, if it is available in ArcGIS Online or in esri, or you would like to add in within esri, you can have it done. And since we have this plugin available, which can communicate from esri to the Power BI, you can enroute the data sets right away in Power BI.
Okay. Another question is, what is the maximum number of attributes we can add to the grid? would we be able to add portfolio performance, profit and loss matrices to the branch?
Yes, that's very much possible. So when we are saying about the portfolio performance and P&L matrices, actually, these are basically the organization data. So it completely depends upon you, what data set you reposits, that you reside with. So you can add those piece of information. Coming on to the first one about the number of attributes. So we do not have any limitations how many attributes you would like to add onto the grid. So you can keep on adding those and you can keep on aggregating these attributes within a grid of any resolution.
Okay. So also there is a question. I'm like, does your company use satellite imagery along with AI to estimate risk? Through satellite imagery, we can see which buildings are damaged due to disasters or a building near earthquake fault line or near a coastline. So this is not very clear actually.
Yeah, so I can pick up that. So
Sure.
yeah, we have a lot of experience with satellite imagery and processing, and so these tools can be used to basically build models that allow you to estimate risk. Not just for flooding and coastline, but as we spoke about, even earthquakes and catastrophes like that. So satellite imagery is becoming extensively available. So yes, we use a lot of AI and geospatial data from satellites to be able to build this information.
Sure. So there is another one. Is there any demo of Geospoke solutions, add-ins, templates, application, etc. that adds value on top of esri platform for retail financial institutes?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can definitely get in touch and arrange a session for a demo.
Sure. Also, I have Asad, probably you can add some, say, can it integrate with my existing enterprise applications? Like probably they're looking at a core banking solution or a SAP platform. So will you want to take that?
Yeah, so it's possible actually. The integration we would like to understand, like, is it like a database integration you're looking into, or is it like a simple embedded within the existing application using APIs? So that's very much possible. It could be also possible that since we have showcased you the COTS non-development kind of a use cases, but yes, we have our application that can be extended with respect to the integration and as well as capabilities as well through customization as well as configuration that we have showcased you. So that's very much possible.
Okay. Now the first question which I had asked, like I had to, because probably Atul was not able to unmute himself. So Atul says from Reliance team, accuracy assessment score is 75.8%, and yes, they use.
Yeah.
Atul, please go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And he says he can. You want to say like answer that question? Please go ahead.
Yeah, we have calculated that 75.80% of accuracy assessment of land crop classification, and yes, we have did that supervised classification process in ITS for land cover.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
5.8% for Jalna, basically.
Yeah,
and this has been for this particular Kharif season. So it has been really a good kind of analysis that we could put to the Department of Agriculture in the district also, wherein we had showcased our different crop classification and crop maps, and use our ground team to actually look at which crops at which locations at what lat longs are present are to be showcased. So that way, getting the ground truthing points or the geo coordinates really helped us to map these crops accordingly for this Kharif season. And yes, we are using these land use land cover maps for looking at different aspects.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. So I guess we have answered all the questions. In any case, if we would have missed, I will take it offline. We'll come back in terms of we'll collate, we'll share the presentation deck with you. And also, in case if there is a question which has been unanswered, we'll reach out separately and answer that question. Again, we'll want to thank Rudy, thank all the panelists, and thanks to the entire audience. Thanks for it. It was a long duration webinar. Thanks everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you, respected speakers. Thank you, participants, for joining this particular webinar. Wish you all have a great day and requesting to please stay safe. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for giving us very well opportunity.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot to all.